Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In this video, the brother Libiano, I love this brother. He's such a lion. And he's forthcoming and he tells the truth and he don't try to sugarcoat anything, man. He talks about the problem that we have. He mentioned inferiority complex. And he talks about people being submissive to, actually, I'm just going to roll the tape so you guys won't say I'm saying a certain thing. Let's go.
Many of us read and recite the Quran often, but we struggle to pronounce it correctly. And even worse, we struggle to understand the true meaning. You see, the Quran is not just meant to be memorized, but it's meant to be memorized and understood so you could connect with the revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on a deep level that you've never experienced before. I have the perfect tool for you. The Kalam app is a simple app you download on your phone. You could learn the classical Arabic language and it'll teach you how to pronounce the Quran correctly. So not only will you be able to, and their charges consist of Tristan Tate have just been arrested in Miami, and their charges consist of rape, having indecent photos of minor, human trafficking, and the list goes on. I think just about 70 charges between the both of them. Now, is this video going to be about their innocence or their non-innocence? No, I'm not going to be addressing that in this video. Rather, I'm going to be addressing a root problem in relation to Andrew Tate, and really in relation to celebrities who become Muslim or influential people in general who become Muslim and convert to Islam, and even people who are off camera. It doesn't just relate to celebrities per se. Now, in Andrew Tate's case, he became Muslim several years ago. We saw him take the Shahada. Everybody was happy. He's a very influential person. He's going to lead hundreds to Islam. He's going to be a soldier of Allah. He's going to be a sword of Allah. He's going to speak the truth. And that's what everybody was hoping for. That's what was going on in everybody's mind. Andrew Tate is this strong man, and he's teaching strong Islamic values, and maybe he has some mistakes, but surely he's going to learn and he's going to be pious and practice the religion properly, right? Well, that's what everybody thought. But, you know, as we saw Andrew Tate progress in his online career, we saw that Andrew Tate didn't really change much. He continued living his life just like a kafir would live his life. As a matter of fact, he did things after his conversion that are completely antithetical to Islam. He promotes gambling, young men who look up to him. He promotes zina, sleeping with women outside of marriage, having kids with women outside of marriage. He promotes anti-Islamic rhetoric and sides with Islamophobes and hate preachers like Tommy Robinson in the United Kingdom. He says that he has a whole team in Israel that can shut down his business whenever they want. As a matter of fact, the Israelis made him apologize for the incident with Sneeko and Clavicular at the club a few months ago. So is Andrew Tate a great example of a Muslim? No, definitely not. I mean, it's obvious. As a matter of fact, Andrew Tate has committed kufr online multiple times. He has tweets claiming to be the Lord, saying, "I am the Lord, bow down to me," after he's been corrected several times. And I think he's came out and apologized a couple times for his tweets. He's
Navan, the #1 rated business travel platform, lets your team book work travel in one place. Flights, hotels,
on record, on video, worshiping Jesus, going to church on Easter with his brother and worshiping Jesus, lighting candles for Jesus. He himself says, we are going to go worship Jesus. I'll just let you guys see it. Roll the tape. So obviously the guy hasn't bettered his life in any way. He hasn't changed his lifestyle other than having the label Muslim. And sometimes he talks about Islam very, very, very minimally. But that's about it. Now, why do I mention this? Why are you talking about all of these things, Mr. Orthodox Muslim? Are you just being a hater? Are you hating on brother Andrew Tate? No, I'm not mentioning these things to hate on Andrew Tate. Rather, I'm mentioning these things to tackle a deeper issue, a root issue. And I spoke about this in a previous video about how Muslims have an inferiority complex when it comes to white.
You know why he spoke about that? Because he saw one of my videos and he heard me talking about this inferiority complex. And he decided to make it a topic of discussion. And I appreciate that. So let's talk about it some more, Libiano. And some people say, oh, respect to Libiano, but we disagree. Okay.
White and European converts. They put them at a pedestal. And this relates to that issue in that Muslims to hate on Andrew Tate. Rather, I'm mentioning these things to tackle a deeper issue, a root issue. And I spoke about this in a previous video about how Muslims have an inferiority complex when it comes to white and European converts. They put them at a pedestal. And this relates to that issue in that Muslims have an inferiority complex in putting celebrities on a pedestal. If a celebrity becomes Muslim, the whole world goes insane. It's hitting the headlines. It's all over the news. Wow, somebody that famous really became Muslim. You see, guys, we're not terrorists. We're not evil people. You see, that person who's very famous and influential, he even became Muslim. And this kind of rhetoric that exists amongst the Muslim community. I'm not going to say that this is everybody, but certainly a lot of people think that way, and it's very apparent in our community. Others view celebrities becoming Muslim as a means for their influence to guide others to Islam, and that's good. In that sense, it's good when influential people become Muslim, when celebrities become Muslim, because
this brother be watching my videos. I'm a small channel. I only got 2 followers, but this dude is repeating word for word of what I don't know which video, but some of you guys know that are watching this know exactly what I'm talking about.
They act as a means for their fans, for their followers, for the people that look up to them, to see Islam in a good light, to maybe look into Islam, and they serve a good purpose like that. Now, let me just get into the crux of this video.
I want to let you know, Libiano is from Toronto. In Toronto, you can tell by the way he talks, his cadence, that he grew up around in the hip-hop culture, right? So he has some reservation for certain things that I discuss, that I talk about. You know, he's, pretty much he's a Western Muslim that grew up around the hip hop culture. Let's say black people. You can just tell by the way he's very, very witty with his words. Like, you gotta be a part of the culture to know, right? But he's not a white boy, like some Muslims come to, maybe Canada or maybe to America, and they speak super proper English, like, hey, how's it going? You can't, if you hear him on the phone, you would think they're white. The Libiano, you can tell he got like this street kind of tone to his voice, like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Get out of my face with that. Like, I ain't trying to hear all of that. That's how we talk. Like, he talks the same way.
What am I yapping about? What am I talking about exactly? When somebody becomes Muslim, especially nowadays, there are categories that you could place them under. And these categories, amongst them, is being a pragmatic Muslim. What do I mean by this? Well, I mean, if I were to ask so-and-so person, why did you become Muslim? If they're pragmatically a Muslim, they would say something like, well, I became Muslim because Islam is strong. Islam hasn't fallen to the matrix. You see all these other religions? You see Christianity, it's so weak. Christians don't stand up for anything. Christians allow blasphemy. Christian women are naked. Christian women do OnlyFans. But if you look at Muslim women, they're covered up. Muslim women have traditional values. Muslim men have traditional values. Muslims have a good family unit. Muslims are rejecting modern hedonism and liberalism and secularism. Islam breeds strong people, good societies. And this is why such a person will say he became Muslim, because Islam gives him a social status or a social benefit, a personal gain that he has from Islam. Maybe it gives such a person a community. Maybe it gives them a sense of belonging, a sense of brotherhood or sisterhood. And the list goes on and on. But you see, this is what pragmatic Islam is. And not to say these things are bad. No, these things are good. These things are what Islam breeds, and that's absolutely right. But those things should not be the primary reason that anybody should become a Muslim. And even if they are main reasons that somebody becomes Muslim, they shouldn't be the sole reasons that somebody should become a Muslim. Because more than we think, these people don't actually understand the point behind Islam. They view Islam as something that is merely worldly, something that just benefits them in this life. It's like an aesthetic that they have. It's a communal thing and nothing beyond that. They don't think about the aspect of the afterlife. They don't think about the divine revelation, what it means for the Quran to be true, for Jannah to be true, for Jahannam to be true. They don't understand and experience the reality of the ghaib, of the unseen, of adab al-qabr, of the punishment in the grave, of angels, of jinn, of shaitan, of the stories of the past, the stories of the prophets in the previous nations. For them, these things are, whatever, they're a part of the book that I believe in, they're part of the religion, whatever. I don't think about heaven and hell that much, the afterlife that much. Islam is something that benefits me. It breeds strong men and women, and that's why I'm Muslim. And this right here is the issue. This right here is not enough. This right here will kill your iman. These things will not benefit you beyond the worldly life. And that's why we see that when somebody becomes Muslim for these reasons, such a person usually doesn't transform his life. He doesn't become pious. He doesn't become more aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He doesn't reflect on heaven and hell and punishment. He doesn't ask for forgiveness. He doesn't beg Allah for mercy and forgiveness. He doesn't repent to Allah. He doesn't cry to Allah. He doesn't pray tahajjud. He doesn't pray his 5 daily prayers. And even if he tries to, it'll be very hard. Why? Because at the end of the day, these things are movements for him. They're just rituals that you have to do that come with the package. And this is a wrong approach to Islam. You should be a Muslim because you know with yaqeen, with certainty, Islam is true. The Nabi is true, the Prophet is true, the Messenger is true, and everything he says is the truth and nothing but the truth. And it is as true as 2 + 2 is 4. It is as true as one's own existence. It is as true as the sky being blue and as the water being wet. That's how true Islam is. That's how true Jannah and Jahannam and the Quran and everything in between is. And when you're a Muslim, because you know these things are true, not just for the pragmatic aspect, and only then you will truly learn how to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala properly, how to worship him properly, how to become more pious, how to become more aware of yourself, of your environment, how to be better, how to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala better, how to strive to enter paradise. That is your main goal, to be in paradise. That is how you learn that this world and this life is meaningless. It's nothing but a 50, 60-year-old period that will pass away just like the blink of an eye. And you will understand that true life begins at death. And you're either in the eternal bliss of paradise or the eternal torment of hellfire. So, what you should get from your video, what you should take away from this video is rather a question that you should ask yourself. Why are you a Muslim? Is it because Islam is true and you have 100% yaqeen in the revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through his trustworthy messenger? Or is it because Islam gives you some kind of social status or worldly benefit? Because Islam is strong and more traditional.
Yeah, it's a great question. Like, why are you Muslim? Like, some people are born into Islam, and a lot of times I hear people that are born into the religion and they see me and how much I'm on my deen, and they say, man, you motivate me. And I'm like, really don't know how to take that, because I'm like, you're born Muslim. But as the years progressed, I understood what they mean. You're born into the religion, you're born into the society. So you take it for granted. You don't understand how special it is when you're a revert and you grow up around Christians and Catholicism and idol worshiping and Easter and Christmas and all of these pagan holidays. And then when you find something that's real, that's true, something that's simple, but something that's aiding and assisting you to have a better outcome in your niyat, then you know that it's the truth. I know it's the truth because it lines up with who I am as a person. It lines up with who I am as someone who takes care of his health. Before Islam, I wasn't drinking. Before Islam, I wasn't smoking. Before Islam, I wasn't dealing with multiple women. Before Islam, I was only worshiping one God. I never bought into Jesus Christ and the Holy Trinity. I was always skeptical about that. This is why I'm the skeptical Muslim, because I was always skeptical. And once I really found out that Islam pretty much teaches the same things that I agree with already: no liquor, no drink, no smoke, no hookers, I still listen to a little music. I don't listen to it a lot. Mainly R&B, rhythm and blues. No like no Chicago style shoot 'em up bang bang music. I don't listen to any of that. But I still do listen to music, I admit. But for the most part, man, I stay strong on my deen. Pray 5 times a day. I obey my wife. She obeys me. We obey one another. I take care of my child. I take care of my family. I take care of my mother. I take care of my father, you know, and I respect my parents, you know. I respect people. I'm very nice. I'm very kind. You know, some of you guys might see me cutting into certain people only if they have a bad attitude. If they have a bad attitude, then I'm going to have equally a bad attitude. I can't afford to be passive when people are evil. Can't be that way in America. People will cut your head off and everywhere else, you know. But every Muslim I met at a gas station, every Muslim I ever met at a liquor store, they've always been kind. They've always been nice. Even before I knew they were Muslim, I just always knew these people are just nice, kind people. You know, and I've talked about some of my incidents in certain locations and not receiving certain things, but that's neither here nor there. This message is about why are you a Muslim? So in the comment section, I want you to write, why are you a Muslim?
Less secular, less liberal. Because in Islam, you have these benefits as a man. You can marry multiple women. Your woman will cover up. Your kids will obey you. And you just think that's the best life ever. And that's why you're a Muslim. Which one of the two I mentioned are you? And if it's the latter, then you should rethink that question. And you should rethink that answer. And then maybe then, because a lot of people ask me, how do I, improve? How do I worship Allah better? How do I fear Allah better? How do I become more consistent? It's when you figure out the answer to that question. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I've seen plenty of power banks over my 15 years of reviewing tech, but this Ridge one quickly became a favorite. So this, a 10.
We're not.
Very good message. Very good message. Why are you a Muslim? And we should start worshiping these celebrity grifters, you know. I tell people about Sneeko, you know. I really think Sneeko is milking the deen. I know he's doing some good work, you know, over there in Gaza. You know, he got some water trips, but I don't trust him 100%. Like, I think it's a grift for him. Sneeko was the guy that was talking to women crazy. He was that toxic masculinity kind of dude, like just being a womanizer. And then after he got into it with some of his bros within that toxic masculinity movement, then he grifted to Islam. And what we do with reverse, we accept him, and he, it seems like he's doing the wrong things. But when he's in Miami with Andrew Tate and with Clavicular and all of those Haram guys, like, he's playing music, rap music, talking about doing certain things to Jews. Now, I know we don't agree with things that are going on in Israel, but like a Kanye West music, like this guy, Kanye West, is so confused. Sneeko, why are you playing this? And then he gets backlash and everybody turns on him, all his homeboys. And then now he's in Mecca. It's like he grifts, we suck these people up. They milk us dry. He's making tons of money from that content. And something about him I know you guys will never be able to see it, but he's a grifter, man. But anyway, this is Walideen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.